Hello, thank you so much for checking out this new edition of content on my channel, Third Eye of Providence. If this is the first time you're seeing my channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button because this video is going to be part of a series that I am starting as of January 1st, 2021, called The Fool's Journey. To deepen my own personal knowledge of the tarot and to assist my followers that are watching these videos and tuning into my tarot readings, I am going to go through the Fool's Journey in the tarot deck from the start to the end of the month of January 2021. We're going to go through each card, and I have pulled out a couple of different versions of the Fool card from a couple of different decks that I have. This is the Hanson Roberts Tarot version of the Fool, and it's marked as card number 0. Not all of the tarot decks mark the card as 0, but most modern ones do, and these are the ones that I have here. So we also have, this is from the Wild Unknown Tarot. It's a non-traditional version of the Fool. And then I have the two versions of the Fool from the Twin Tarot. This is the light aspect of the Fool. And then we have the shadow aspect of the Fool. And I will show them side by side. That's what makes this deck so delightful, is that you have two sides of the same coin. So in this, actually, it doesn't represent, you would think it would represent whatever the reverse is of the Fool upright, but it's not. It's actually like the mirror image. This would be the light aspect, this would be the shadow. So this would be the positive aspects of the Fool, and this would be the negatively polarized aspects of the Fool. So all of the cards on this channel are going to be focused on the Hanson Roberts Tarot, because this is the one that is closest to the Rider-Waite and it's most traditional in its foundations. The reason why I'm showing you so many different versions of the same card is so that you, the viewers, can start to recognize the consistency of the symbology throughout the different decks. Now, first thing you'll notice is that this person is rather young. They're considered the sorcerer's apprentice in the journey. There's a white rose that signifies the innocence and purity of this person. And in this one you can kind of see, well, if my thing would focus here a little bit better. So this one you have the white rose. This one, the rose is kind of falling apart, a little bit disheveled compared to the light aspect. The other thing I want to point out is that the Fool always has this pack that he's traveling with, or she. This is something that symbolizes going out with not much prepared. Like the tools required for this journey are not all quite assembled yet, is what this kind of signifies. Another symbolism we see in a lot of traditional tarot cards that feature the Fool is the dog. This is the companion, this is man's best friend, this is also spirit, and it also represents never being alone. Like when you're starting a new journey, you have something guiding you. And in the shadow aspect of this card, what this is kind of talking about is where this is the light spirit encouraging and leaping forward with the Fool. This one is kind of scaring and startling the Fool into the journey. Now, since this is the first card in the deck, all the sequential cards following it sort of play out the story of the Fool. And in this and most traditional tarots, you will see this is a fool, somebody who is taking a leap of faith. And that is one of the very common meanings of this card. This person clearly is like really jumping off and ready. This also symbolizes that there's like, spirit looking over. And do you see how it's like leaping toward spirit? In this one, it's kind of falling back, falling away. And in this card as well, the Fool is looking at the sun, like looking toward the new horizon here. And it's harder to see, but there is a little cliff here that it's not as evident in these, but this person is definitely leaping with faith as well. Now, the other thing that I'm picking up on these cards that I think is very traditional as well is the outfit, the colors of the outfit of the Fool. Red being very significant. The color association with red is always to do with our root chakra. And the root chakra is all about your stability, your security, and your foundation. So, we see it here. And we see it here around a couple of different areas on this card. And same with this one as well. Then you will also pick up on that there's a lot of blue as well. Right? There's a lot of blue in these cards as well in the outfit. And that would have to do with seeking of the truth, using the throat chakra, and sort of like having this masculine energetic about like going out, like solarizing, reaching and seeking. Same thing with the non-traditional version of this. You can see that this little chick is not quite prepared to fly, right? This would be symbolism of the cliff. This would be jumping, taking the leap of faith. This bird should be able to fly, but it's unclear. And they're putting their little foot out to test the waters, so to speak. And there's just a lot of yellow and a lot of red in this card as well. So it's sort of like a more positive, and it's funny because it's sort of going into this shadowy aspect. So we're having this Fool who is seeing the light from above and kind of going into the unknown, the more mysterious. So those are my personal interpretations of these cards of the Fool. And as a bonus, like I said, with this whole journey to deepen my own personal knowledge, I'll be using this Complete Book of Tarot. It's a comprehensive guide by Anthony Lewis, and it has a lot of really good associations and occult and esoteric topics to discuss about these cards that I'm not too aware of, so we're going to go into it here. Oh, and as a bonus, there are pictures. It's not color, but there are pictures of different versions of the Fool. So let me see if I can show you this too, so you can get an idea of like the associations that I told you about in those cards. So that is the version of the Fool in this deck. You'll see the rose, you'll see the pack, the outfit is very similar, the dog, the cliff, and the sun. It says that the Fool represents the idealistic sorcerer's apprentice. And in the upright, when we read the card of the Fool, it says, this suggests a leap of faith and a desire to explore the unknown with a beginner's mind. The Fool has a basic trust that things will turn out well in the end, but has not yet acquired the ability to navigate this way skillfully through the practical affairs of everyday life. The fool is starting out on a new and exciting journey in which they will encounter a marvelous adventure and seeking spiritual growth. Yes, definitely. Looking to the sun. When this card appears in a reading, it is important to keep your wits about you as you take risks and explore the unknown. At the same time, this card cautions you to avoid foolish idealism and not undertake mundane projects unless you are well prepared for handling any pragmatic aspects. So we can see that in the shadow aspect of this card is this fool is not prepared. They're not hearing it at all. They're like, nope, nope, whatever, like stop barking at me. I can't handle this. um so in the reverse position, when you get the fool in reverse, how it should be read if the cards are to be read in reverse. Like I said, this deck does not resonate with reversals. Neither does this deck. This deck, however, does resonate with reversals, and that's why I wanted to use all the different versions to show you guys. So in the reversal, it says, at some point during childhood, most kids hear their parents if all your friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump too? When reversed, the fool cautions against unrealistic planning, naivete, gullibility, irresponsibility, immaturity, and premature actions. And it also warns against foolish risk taking. The inverted version of the fool displays poor judgment and a lack of basic trust. Be sure to look before you leap, or you may go off on a half-cocked, pointless adventure. Consider the consequences before engaging in impulsive or risky behavior, especially avoid excessive use of drugs or alcohol. Interesting. So, definitely some interpretations in the reverse I would not have picked up on intuitively, just the symbolism in these cards. Of course, I would think maybe we can see in the white rose the symbolism of purity. So in the reverse, we'd have like impurities, drinking, drugs, alcohol, things like this. So that would make sense. But like I said, these are like deeper symbolisms that you'd have to really be looking for or getting cues from other cards that are in the reading. So, some more background about this card. There are keywords associated with it that are in the positive aspects. It's a card that represents opening up to new possibilities, idealism, leaps of faith, fresh starts, opportunities for growth, having a childlike wonder, having innocence and trust, being enthusiastic, having curiosity, being inexperienced, taking initiations, an unexpected opening, embarking on an exciting journey, experimentation, freedom to explore, a spiritual quest, opening up the mind to new learnings, taking a risk, living in the present, and not following the established rules of the game. Interesting. Now, in the negative polarity, this card would represent folly, madness, stupidity, unrealistic attitudes, confusion, immaturity, eccentricity, insecurities, silliness, gullibility, foolishness, infatuations, frenzy, needless risk, intoxication, irresponsibility, uncertainty, premature actions, questionable advice, and recklessness, muddle-headedness, a pointless enterprise, foolish abandonment of material goods. This person would be a jester, a madman, a drifter, or a beggar. And it says, "Fools rush in where angels fear to tread." So, some of the backgrounds on the traditional interpretations of the Fool is with the archetype and the myth, we have this person would be the court jester. And you see that in the traditional playing cards, the Joker, right? um, so this card is also associated with innocence, the orphan, the seeker, the idealist, the wanderer, the novice, and the sorcerer's apprentice. There's also an association with Percival. So, in the Rider-Waite, we have that this card traditionally means folly, mania, extravagance, intoxication, delirium, frenzy, betrayal, negligence, absence, distribution, carelessness, apathy, nullity, and vanity. There's another version of the tarot where this card represents the foolish man. It talks about folly and waveringness, hesitation, instability, trouble arising therefrom when in the reverse. And in the Golden Dawn, the Fool's card would speak about a foolish person in the material affairs of everyday life in which folly, stupidity, instability, and eccentricity occur due to the fool's high level of idealism. Very interesting. And there's a Hebrew association with this card, Aleph, which is the symbol on this card. And it talks about this word means strength, power, and leadership. It also speaks about learning and being guided and teaming up. Because it represents the ox head, and the ox head was used for plowing. Super, super neat. Okay, well, that's what we have for the Fool's Journey. And I hope this gave you some background information on the symbolism, what we would pick up on, and hopefully you guys learned something new. I know I certainly did, and that is definitely the point of this whole series. So stay tuned. Like I said, I'm going to post one every day for January, and then by the end of the month, we'll have a recap, and then we'll be moving forward, deepening the knowledge of the tarot, and maybe I'll even come up with some other types of readings to talk about and look into these types of cards as well. So, again, thank you guys so much for the support, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next one.